So that's it, and then I'm going to let it run, and we're going to set the type up.
And people come in for a poetry reading, but it's more than it's beyond a poetry reading, because the process of making the broadside they become involved in.
My work here has been as a poet and learning how to use all of this fabulous lead type to set poems and to make chapbooks. And it just seemed like a great idea to mix poetry and printmaking into an event.
I love the marriage of poetry and print. I love the written word, and I love books, and I love typography. I don't think of myself as a writer. So this part of it brings something to me, and I can bring print to it.
Because here I was working with the words on a very literal, physical level. It was fascinating to me to spend that slow, careful amount of time with each word. Then the idea of mixing imagery together with the words without necessarily illustrating the poems, instead making images and poems that somehow speak to each other in this one idea of a broadside.
I think that language is structure. It's the embodiment of an idea. So every choice you make about every image and every typeface, even the paper, which is sort of the silent partner of the whole enterprise, becomes an embodiment of the experience of the poem. And then when the poet comes and reads, it's the electricity that brings the whole thing to life.
Farnsworth. Follow the fog line out of town wherever it leads. Turn where the blackbirds mark the fence posts with arrows, where the wheat leans in toward the river. Come meet me in the trees. Well, where I'll lift you above the floodplain, open the curtain of your body for all to see. We have no secrets with the forest, which also arranges herself around me.
And we're printing on Vandercooked presses.
These presses were made through the 70s by Vandercook and Sons in Chicago, Illinois. There were more than 30,000 Vandercook presses manufactured, and today, of those, there have been almost 3,000 identified worldwide. Of those nearly 3,000 that we know are in existence and operating worldwide today, 4 of them are here at Asheville Bookworks. They're being used today in small run print editions, chapbooks, broadsides, artist books, and more.
Grammar. Maxine, back from a weekend with her boyfriend, smiles like a big cat and says that she's a conjugated verb. She's been doing the direct object with a second person pronoun named Phil. And when she walks into the room, everybody turns. Some kind of light is coming from her head. Even the geraniums look curious. And the bees, if they were here, would buzz suspiciously around her hair, looking for the door in her corona. We're all attracted to the perfume of fermenting joy. We've all tried to start a fire. And one day, maybe, it will blaze up on its own. In the meantime, she is the one today among us, most able to bear the idea of her own beauty. And when we see it, what we do is natural. We take our burned hands out of our pockets and clap.
Roll it smoothly. All the way through at the end.
He's huge. Standing there in the woods where I didn't even see him at first. He doesn't know I'm looking, and then he moves a little bit and kicks the ground. I was walking by myself as the sun set. I kept going in deeper to the greenest spot until I found a clearing. He was the clearing. He took the clearing up and stood there still and watched me till I saw him. I saw his shoulders first and then his neck. I think he was so golden in the sun, I didn't know what he was. And I thought the branches were his horns. I thought he was an 8-point stag and how his chest made a kind of giant heart out of me, out of my eyes looking. And he let me look. He stood there in the green, not moving. I thought his horns were leaves. I saw 8 branches coming from his head. He didn't stop my looking. He didn't run away. I watched the whole of him. I saw his arms and the taper of his legs. He let me watch him for maybe hours, but really moments like a gift. Like when you're almost home and smell them cooking supper, but you're still outside and could just turn back around. We stood like that together. He let me touch the whole of him. Every rise and muscle, he let me rest on the hollow of his neck and breathe it in for 4 whole breaths. He said my name, or he shook his head inside the leaves and sighed and let the light come into us. He let the light hold us for a while.
I would love to see more people aware of what's going on here because there's fabulous programming here and it's an amazing place to get to work. This space is incredible. There's so much type. There are these fabulous printing presses.
Sounds pretty smooth.
If it sounds like it's sizzling, it sounds like something's frying, and it's too much, then there's too much ink. Because it's, yeah, you can't hear it at all.